But at the time, it was the third biggest project in India.
Oh wow. Should a new budding founder enter this industry? And second would be, if they do, what do you think is a segment or a niche that hasn't been touched?
So we're on the Nykaa, the Myntra, the Ajio, the Tata Click. You think that your piece of the pie is getting smaller, but it's actually not, because that pie is just getting bigger.
Hi, today we're going to be talking to Natasha Vora. She's the founder of the brand Feier, which is an activewear brand in Bombay. With more than 20 years of experience and a family background within textile, she's built something truly revolutionary. One of the first pioneers to bring in seamless technology within textile in India. She is creating something revolutionary within the activewear industry when we're talking about style, function and utility all in ones for women. Let's talk to Natasha. Hi Natasha.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking our time to be with us today.
Of course, very happy to be here.
All right, so we'll just start from the top.
Sure.
Could you tell me a little bit more about your background? What were you doing? I mean, how did childhood go like? And did that in any way help you get into the business background and mindset?
It's definitely, all of that is what's led to this.
Oh.
So I'm born and raised in Dubai.
Okay.
My father has been in the textile industry for the last 45 years.
Okay.
And that's why I think it also just runs in my blood.
Oh.
So growing up in Dubai was really fun, all of these things, very active childhood, lots of sports. It's very different to the Dubai that it is today. And so I've always been a slightly active person interested in that. Then after Dubai, so 18 years there, I went to Parsons Design School in New York, and I studied fashion design there. So I think the idea I initially had was to go work for somebody like a designer in the US and like kind of live out my life over there.
Okay.
That's not what happened. So after I graduated, I basically worked at Ralph Lauren for about a year. And then, you know, international student, all of these things. So it comes up, they're like, oh, you know, we'd like you to stay. There was the whole visa situation. But then they were willing to be like, okay, we'll sponsor your visa. And right at the time, I had to like kind of say yes or no. I had like a 12-hour phone conversation with my dad and my brother. And by this time, my brother's older than me. He ended up, he graduated at the worst time with an economics degree in 2008 when it was—
Oh, the financial crisis.
Yeah. So he was definitely not staying in the States. And he ended up moving back to India.
Which year was this? Your postgrad and your
so I only did my undergrad.
Okay.
I graduated in 2012.
Okay.
And I worked for a year, so I worked until August 2013.
Okay.
And it was at that point when they were just like, why don't you come and work in the business instead? And I was like, I don't want to move to India because I didn't grow up in India, right?
Correct.
India for me was visiting my grandparents. And so I wasn't sure I wanted to, but I don't know why, something, somewhere, somehow, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let's try it. So I moved and I was like, literally 2 days later, I was going to the factory every day. And I was learning from those around. It was a fully functioning business, you know. My brother was there, there's a lot of people there. And so I was just, even having a fashion design background, you don't know anything about manufacturing.
True.
Literally nothing. So I was just like, what is going on?
Correct.
And so then I spent the next few years kind of learning, understanding. I literally still to this day go to my factory 5 days a week unless something else comes up.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, so we have a manufacturing unit, which is our main factory, about 65 kilometers from Bombay.
Oh wow.
So on a good day, you can get there in an hour and a half. On a bad day, it can take 3 hours.
My God, I can't imagine. But could you tell us a little bit more?
Yes.
Is it a shared family unit? And of course, can we talk a little bit more about what kind of textiles did you manufacture as part of the family business?
Yeah, so typically India is really good at cotton-rich fabrics.
Yeah.
And especially in this part of the country, there's not that many textile units left. So we used to have a vertically integrated unit where we would get the yarn, knit the fabric, do cut, dye, all of the processing, and do garments for export only.
Okay.
For the longest time, we did only export garments. And so that was kind of what my training ground was. So I was learning about that, and we were primarily doing innerwear.
Okay. And were you sort of sending it out, and I mean, were you sending it out to another brand and they were white labeling it?
Yeah, no, it was fully for other brands.
Okay.
And we would basically send the packaged product out, so labeled in their final packaging, everything. So it was going straight to their stores.
Got it, understood.
And for the longest time, that's what we were doing. That's what I was doing. I was learning about different parts of the business. We expanded to like another unit a little bit further, like a kilometer away, to expand our sewing capabilities. And we are still one of the only bigger garmenting units in the area. Okay. So we've done skill training for like thousands of women at this point, from like the villages and everything. They've come to us. I mean, when we started there, it was like a jungle. Now there's so much infrastructure, there's so much development, like there's many big housing communities. So it's really come up as an area as well, which is worse for the traffic. Sorry, go ahead.
No. So you were saying, so essentially, this is what was your family business about.
Yes.
Now from there, you pivoted and you came back to India, back to the story. You came back to India, and you were working in the factory, you were understanding the manufacturing. The workings of it, the behind the scene, what goes on. So you have, you said you trained for about, and you were working there for about, I don't know how many years?
I mean, I still work there. So 2013, we're in 2025. It's been 12 years. Actually, yeah, it's been 12 years.
So how did the idea for Feier start? What was your initial vantage point from which you thought athleisure or activewear might be a good segment to get into? And the third question is that how much overlap in terms of manufacturing capability is there? So how many things did you have to change? How many levers did you have to change to pivot from textile again to activewear? And to what degree was there an overlap between capabilities? So how easy was the pivot?
So actually, one very important thing happened to do this. So before COVID, my father is kind of still, although he's basically retired, he's still like pretty actively involved when it comes to strategy.
Okay.
And so he kind of saw what was happening in the broader textile industry in India, which was, we are in a very expensive area to manufacture. Right outside of Bombay.
Right.
It's the highest paid workers in India.
Yeah.
Aside from that, the countries around us are like Bangladesh, for example, the Far East, Cambodia, Vietnam.
Yeah.
They all are far more competitive than India.
Yeah.
And so, and for us, we were also doing basics, right? We're doing the kind of products that can actually be made anywhere.
True. Because you were not a retail brand.
Exactly. And also, like, we weren't doing the specialized embroideries and things that can really only come from India. We are doing a product that could be made anywhere. So he was kind of forward looking and said, what can we do? This is before COVID. And actually, he's been saying this for years now, but it kind of culminated right before COVID, where he was like, what can we do that's different? And he's always been interested in technology in the garment industry, which actually is not a very technologically forward industry, because everything is still made by hand.
Right. Especially for like when you're talking about intricate designs, patterns, and
I mean, honestly, all the sewing, your t-shirts, everything is still made by an operator sitting at a sewing machine.
Oh, so is that still the case right now?
Still the case. So my father has always been interested in technology in the garment industry. And so what he was quite interested by was seamless knitting.
Okay.
So what I forgot to mention is that we were always a knitwear factory.
Okay.
So we didn't do wovens. We only did knits.
Okay.
And usually factories do one or the other. It's only like the much bigger ones that do both.
Just because a lot of people including me might not have context, so can you tell us knitwear, woven, are there any other segments?
Yeah.
How does that,
So most people will, if you are not from the industry, you hear knitwear, you'll think it's sweaters. That's actually a different industry.
Oh.
Knitwear is like t-shirts, it's all the fine jersey knits and the rib and things like that. Sweaters is different, that's flat knit.
Okay.
And knitwear is your t-shirts, your vests, your leggings, basically anything that's soft and stretchy.
Okay, that's knitwear.
Yes. And wovens is denims, suits, shirts, all of the fabric, because the structure is different. Woven is basically there's a warp and a weft and your fibers are kind of woven together.
Okay.
Knitting is literally a tiny, tiny, tiny version of how like grandmothers knit.
Right. Got
so making the loops. So because the process is similar but different, most factories do one or the other.
Okay.
So most knitwear is made by cut and sew. That's what we call it, cut and sew. So you're basically buying a roll of fabric or you're making the roll of fabric, you're laying it out on a table, usually in layers, and then you're cutting out pattern pieces which will be sewn together to make your garment.
Okay.
Seamless is you're basically knitting body diameter tubes. So you're knitting one garment at a time.
Okay.
And then you're doing a little bit of cutting, a little bit of sewing.
Sure.
And then your garment is made that way.
Okay.
So it actually involves less people and it's a smaller process.
Okay.
So we were looking at kind of how do you move forward by depending less on people? Because that's the expensive part. Labor is the expensive part.
Correct. Okay.
So that was kind of what was coming in. And also seamless is very small. It's in its nascent stage in India still.
Okay.
So the pioneers of knitting technology are the Italians. Santoni is the company that does it. Everyone has a Santoni machine. We all actually have the same machines as well. But typically seamless is using synthetic yarns, mostly nylon.
Okay.
So back to your original question, which was how did we get making Feier?
Yeah.
And I said one very important thing happened, which was basically we invested in seamless technology.
Oh, okay.
All of that linked to this point. So right before COVID, we were having, we were kind of discussing our long-term plans, bringing technology in, reducing dependency on manpower. And the other interesting thing is, I briefly said, basically was seamless is highly dependent on synthetic yarns. It doesn't work well for cellulosic fibers like cotton, whatever it is, because they break, breakage problems,
makes sense,
that kind of thing. Synthetic yarns are much smoother. So India has recently started making the finer denier nylon yarns.
Okay.
Which before we would have had to have imported. And so we never wanted to be dependent on imports. So we were a little bit hesitant about seamless because we're like, then we're gonna have to import all our yarn.
Yeah.
Typically as a manufacturer, you want as much to be in the country as possible. And so because that was coming up, we're like, now this kind of makes sense. So we were just about, literally November 2019, we were just about to start, place our order for the seamless machines.
Yeah.
When at the time we had two companies and we're like, which one should we do it in? So, that discussion a little bit here and there, looking at finances, all the things you have to do. And then it took a little bit of time, Italians love their holidays. They go on holiday all of August. They take a pretty proper Christmas break and all these things. So it came after. And then it basically got around to the time where we started hearing things about COVID. And Italy was one of the first sort of epicenters. Yeah. And so it just kind of stopped in its tracks over there. Very thankfully, honestly, had we invested, and it's very capital intensive.
You were importing this from Italy, right?
Yeah, the machines. So we have 60 Santoni machines. They're all in-house, and that makes us currently in the, I don't know how many machines other people have bought by now, but at the time, it was the third biggest project in India.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's very capital intensive.
Okay.
It's very expensive, much more expensive than regular, because you also then have to get the dyeing and there's a lot of kind of supporting things and infra that you need in place for that. So it's expensive, so not a lot of people do it.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're still the third biggest. I think we are, but there's a couple of others that are coming up.
Okay.
So it's good to know because the Indian market is now accepting seamless. Before it didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Because again, the misconceptions around what seamless is,
Yeah.
all the different use cases that
Yeah.
could just be it. But okay, so back to the story.
Yeah, so this became really long. So basically, we got the machines, but at that point there was like a wait, backlog of COVID, all these things. So by the time the machines came in, it was like COVID was kind of over with. And so what happened in COVID also was a lot of people cooked and ate everything. I was by myself for a lot of it because I had just moved home. So I was in Bombay. My family still lives in Dubai.
Okay. Oh.
So I used this opportunity to get into the best shape of my life.
Okay.
I didn't order Swiggy like once. I was only cooking at home. I was working out. It was amazing. I really, really enjoyed some of my time in COVID. I know it's difficult for a lot of people, especially first COVID, where it hadn't really spread over here.
Yeah.
So I really used that time to like get fit. And in that, I also started seeing what was happening. We were discussing earlier, a lot of kind of homegrown brands. We know our leader, Bliss Club, who really kind of started expanding then. I think they are kind of the leaders in the space for homegrown brands. And I also was looking at my sad closet and I was just like, okay, I'm wearing the same. I can tell you, I had like 3 pairs of leggings, my one Lululemon ones, my one Nike ones, and then I think I had one other from like H&M or something. And I was like, this is really boring. And fundamentally, I don't want to wear black leggings all the time.
Correct. True.
So I was starting to think and I was looking around and I was like, this is kind of where we can be. Because I saw the gap in the market because there weren't as many activewear brands as there are now.
Okay.
And I was like, no one is doing seamless. So at that point we hadn't invested in seamless, but we had thought about it, right?
So you thought that you could integrate
it. It was already there. The kind of ingredients were there, and I was like, this would be a really good thing. My father historically has told me so many times, you got to start a brand. You got to start a brand, and I never did in the previous years because I felt I didn't have a unique point of view.
Okay.
I was like, who needs another t-shirt brand?
True.
Who needs another, clothing brand? There's so many out there. And so I never did it. But this time I was like, I can do something different here. There's a clear gap in the market. No one is doing this.
Yeah.
With my design background also, I was like, whatever activewear is available in the Indian market right now is mostly the imported brands, like the global brands that we all know.
True.
But I always feel their collections for women are pretty mediocre here compared to the rest of the world. Like when you go to the Nike in the US, you're just like, wow, amazing. But when you're over here, it's a very limited range.
And they also priced very sort of not
friendly.
Not friendly, given that we are very value conscious consumers in India.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's very affordable, honestly.
It's the price points of the international brands here are too expensive.
Correct, true.
So I was like, this is the gap in the market. If I'm controlling the manufacturing and supply chain, then I can guarantee the quality. I can do the R&D.
Right.
I can do the design. And I can ensure that you don't have to wear black leggings every single day.
No,
that's kind of where it all started from.
Okay.
Long story short.
And so I'm assuming this was, when did you start Feier?
So we launched in April 24, but the work for it began 1 year prior. Okay. Like all of the, when you start a brand and you don't really know anyone else who's started a brand in such a big way, there are so many things you have to do that you don't even think about.
Right.
In my brain at the time, I thought, you make a product, you put it online, a little bit of marketing, and it'll sell.
Yeah.
That's really not at all what it is. So I spent a lot of time at the beginning, and we were still learning too. So I was trying out different yarns. I was looking at different designs. Like there was so much R&D in the products themselves when they started. That you have to do a little bit of market research. Not a little bit. You actually should do a lot more market research than I did.
Okay.
I wish I had done more.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like for the most part, it's been okay, but it might have helped me a little bit more. so much development. Then you have to look at your sizing. It's activewear. It's difficult. It's still difficult to this day. You know, figuring out how it's gonna fit. Indian bodies are built differently to the American bodies, to the European bodies. We are softer.
Are we still using standard sizing, by the way, when it comes to Indian garment manufacturing? Are we still using Europe? Because by my idea, we're still using the EU or the US sizes.
So, as I'm sure you'll see, a lot of brands will list the US, UK sizes, the EU sizes. We try to not do that.
Okay.
We use letter sizes, SML, XL, double XL, but I have felt the need in the last few months to actually put on international sizing as a reference.
Okay.
Because sizing is a really complicated thing, especially because for us, you know, an activewear garment is much more smaller than your body is. That's just the nature of the garment. So an S can fit, if the S is this big, an S can fit someone who's this big, but also this big, because it also depends on your preference. How tight do you like your clothes?
I get that. I mean, that makes sense.
It makes sense that way.
Fitting preferences,
It's fitting preferences. And so, you know, we've done a lot of tests on a lot of different Indian women to try and see what fits. And we are trying to not use international sizing because we are different.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, actually, that's probably a good idea. I mean, if a brand, in my opinion, could come up with a solution for the standardized sizing, because from what I've observed is that this is sort of problematic, especially in the case of pants, because you know the length and the waist are never sort of aligning. So, okay, so interesting question. I mean, this is something that I think brands can address. Other thing that I wanted to ask you, that when you started out, how many SKUs did you have in mind? And how many SKUs did you start with? And again, how did you find your product market fit through these XYZ, whatever number were that you started with?
So this is an interesting one. I was able to do what I'll explain to you. I was able to do what I did because I have leveraged my family's manufacturing business.
Okay.
Initially, I wanted to launch with maybe 20 SKUs. Okay, I was like, I'll do like 3 leggings, 2 sports bras, a pair of shorts, some tops, and I was like, I'll make it a nice tight range. That's not what ended up happening.
Okay.
We launched with, I think it was some 45 styles. Okay, and each of those styles was in at least 3 different colors.
Oh my god, wow, that's a lot of...
And that's only the activewear. Actually, the innerwear was its own probably 20 SKUs.
So was it, I mean, did that work in your favor, not work in your favor?
I think it did work in our favor.
Okay.
Because although, you know, launching with that many styles was difficult in terms of the having to invest in that much stock, it really helped us understand what works and what doesn't. Whether it's, so I'll be honest with you, some of the styles that I thought would like work really well have not worked. Well, I don't really even still know the reason why some of the ones didn't work. Some, like a lot of them, I'm very clear now on why they didn't work. But it was really helpful for us to understand what our hero products are.
Okay.
Which I feel like is an advantage that we have, because when you're starting out and you're just starting a brand and you don't have the manufacturing backing, you have to go to a supplier, you have to do all of these things. You got to be really selective, because it's when you're giving your own money, it's very stressful.
Absolutely.
It's really, really stressful, and you kind of want to be sure that what you're buying is going to work.
Okay.
So we had the luxury to play a little bit. And what was nice is honestly, like, it's a whole range of things that worked for us. Some of the like, so with Seamless, you know, we have a lot of solids, but we also have a lot of like jacquard pattern designs and things like that. And some of them worked so much better than I thought they would. And it kind of also solidified my theory, which is that women want to wear fun clothes. They want to wear cute clothes to the gym. They actually don't want to wear black leggings every day.
No, that's actually, I mean, that's quite nice, because I mean, again, one of the questions that I potentially, I mean, after this had was that as a consumer brand, especially when you're talking about activewear, should you build for micro trends, or should you, because see, I mean, you would know there are patterns trending every season, and there are colors trending every 1 month, and,
Yeah.
and there are new styles and new formats coming in basis, of course,
Yeah.
the trends that sort of flow in through Instagram, etc. So as a consumer brand, especially as an activewear brand, or let's say even as an apparel brand, should you build for micro trends?
So I'll speak for activewear.
Okay.
There is, in activewear, what's nice is that the trends kind of last a little longer.
Okay.
I would say, rather than regular fashion. So as I'm sure you know, the whole world is playing paddle and pickle right now.
Yeah.
And so like tennis core is very popular.
Yeah.
And it's still popular.
The tennis skirts and
Yeah.
those are very, yeah.
Exactly. I'm still trying to work on those because those don't really fit into the seamless ethos of design. But I'm working on it.
Okay.
But you know, those are things that you can kind of get on board. But I will say is that look at your bread and butter first. Like that should make up at least 70% of
This is interesting. Coming back to Feier,
Yes.
would you like to talk about some of the numbers? Let's say first thing
Yeah.
is how much because again this is not available on the net, so just for context,
Yeah.
just we have the scale of the business in mind when we're discussing things. How much revenue did you clock in last year? Just to understand at which rate is the...
So when I'll story this up a little bit, but basically when we started, you know, I remember I still remember the names of like the first 20, 30, 40 customers because when you get those first sales, it gives you a high, it gives you a rush.
Absolutely.
Like honestly,
Absolutely.
it's pretty intense, and you're just like, every time somebody buys something and doesn't return it, you know, you're just like, oh, they liked it. I did something right. So that was a very addictive feeling. But we closed the year. I don't know if you want to know the MRP number or the actual number. So the MRP sales were about 1.25 CR last year.
Okay.
And we closed it at about like actual sales, and the net revenue ended up being about 80.
Oh, okay.
So we learned, whether that's good or bad or whatever it is kind of subjective to everyone. But what I do think that emerged from that, which I was very happy with, is that we have a 38% repeat customer rate.
Oh, wow.
And that is something that kind of validates what we're doing and shows that it's organic, strong, sustainable growth. Because 38% means 4 in 10 people are coming back to you.
Yeah.
And we've kind of retained that till now. And we've managed to do that without any retention marketing.
Okay.
Like I've spent no money on retention marketing. I was telling you before that until today, I have sent, aside from, you know, the normal emails that go out, which are your order status ones.
Yeah.
I have sent 2 marketing emails, and one of them was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So we've really done zero spend on retention marketing, which is a big flaw, but you know, there's so many moving parts that's something we're going to be working on now. It's like a goal of mine for my very long to-do list that does not get any shorter. So we're starting that, but yeah, so 38% to come back without you actually telling them to come back.
That's actually quite nice. That's a great number. I especially considering that people have so many options right now, and there are new homegrown brands popping up every now and then, at least in this segment.
Yeah.
So again, what are the margins like, Natasha, when you talk about activewear specifically as a cut within apparel?
So typically people are looking at 50 to 65% margin.
Okay, wow.
And we are operating a little bit higher than that because we actually own our supply chain. So we're able to kind of leverage in the best way possible. There's no middlemen, right? So I am directly buying the raw material. I'm buying the yarn that's turning into the garment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of savings that can happen over there. But what we try and do is pass on those savings to the customer.
Okay.
So whether that's you know, I'm giving a premium product in the international market is selling at 3, 4, 5, 6x of what I'm selling it at. Obviously that price point doesn't work in India, so that's not what I'm trying to do, but I'm giving the quality. I'm giving the experience that you would get from paying much more.
Absolutely.
So also we put a lot of the funds back into trying to do like new R&D, bring in new yarns and things like that. So I'm always just trying to improve the product. Yeah, just to stop you for a moment there, but I take customer feedback extremely seriously. I make it a point to try and speak to at least 2 or 3 customers a week. Like I will pick up the phone, I'll message them actually first and be like, would you be willing to have a chat with me? To understand the experience that they have, why they come back, why they don't come back, all of these kinds of things. And honestly, it's enlightening. I love talking to our customers, whether it's good or bad.
No, makes sense.
Mostly good. But I love talking to them, and they also like really highlight what's working and what isn't working. So I really do take that feedback seriously and try and with every subsequent product we make, try and take their feedback for that or improve what we've already done.
No, that's quite interesting. Actually, I've noticed that in most, I would say young founders. I don't know if it's a young founder thing. I don't know if it's a new age, new generation sort of business thing. But I've noticed this across a lot of different founders where they focus a lot on customer feedback and they iterate a lot and they iterate very quickly. So for that, I think most of the business models now that I've noticed are quite agile. Which sort of how things are operating. Right? So that makes sense. That's interesting.
Owning the supply chain makes that much easier because I'm not going to the market and saying, okay, what is available that I have to choose from? When you're a small brand starting out, you don't really get to design your fabrics. Okay, you're choosing from what's already in the market. Whether it's something that someone else is using, whether that's something that a big brand is using, you're looking for those things. Me, I get to design my fabrics the way I want them because we're knitting them in-house.
And it's very important, I feel like, as a young brand, given that the market is so competitive, to find out micro segments within the customers, within the entire set, and to be able to sort of cater to those, because those are essentially the segments that will give you profitability or I mean more repeat sales essentially, because there is 100%. No brand out there which is catering especially to these micro segments.
For sure.
So I mean, started out as the whole when we were capturing sports, so there were brands for sports like yoga became a key selling area where there were brands who made clothes which could help in yoga. So when you do yoga, you're doing a lot of stretching exercises. So a lot of these athletic wear brands don't cater to that need. So there are brands for that, and then there were brands for Pilates. So I think with that, I think a positioning like that can definitely help. Moving on to another question that I had, could you also describe and give us the details and the breakup of how does your expenditure look like in terms of what is the revenue split? Right? Let's say if Feier is earning 100 rupees a month, how much of it is going in operational expenditure, how much of it is going in salaries come as part of operational, how much of it is going in R&D, marketing. So can you give that as percentage?
So if we're looking at 100, obviously it's percentage. I would say that our cost of goods is give or take on average about 30%. Okay. Then I would say about 30 to 40% is going in marketing. That is honestly, I feel like the biggest chunk of where the spend goes. And then the remaining of that is operational expenses. And, you know, obviously we look at putting some of that back into R&D as well. I would say logistics is a big part of it as well. That's a big challenge that I know a lot of D2C brand founders, that a lot of D2C founders face. Like, honestly, shipping is a much bigger expense than you think it's going to be.
So shipping, I'm assuming most people hire third-party vendors.
Of course, there's the big boys that we all use. You all get the same messages. But I would say cracking outward shipments is fine. It's the inward ones that a lot of people face problems. Like it's across the board. People are unhappy with that side of it. And it's very expensive to return something.
Makes sense.
Sending is fine. We've kind of cracked that. We figured it out. We figured out how to send things. It sounds like it should be easier than it is, but you know, you kind of have to look at your packaging and that kind of stuff. But the logistics of returns are difficult.
So, with about so I would say, which of these split essentially would you say is slightly higher or slightly lower? Which percentage split gives you an advantage, and which split gives you a disadvantage, if any?
So I would say our marketing spend is on the higher side. And I'm still trying to work out how to make that better. But as I previously said, you know, when you're spending all your money on performance marketing, as an example, that's not what we're doing, but that's where the largest chunk goes, performance marketing, and you're not doing retention marketing, you're setting yourself up to have problems.
Okay.
So if I just focus, because in performance marketing, you're trying to convince all these people to buy from you.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm looking at retention marketing, I'm looking at people who've already spent money with me, and I'm just asking them to spend again.
Yeah.
That's easier. That's a market that I've already convinced one time.
Okay.
2 times, whatever it is. So if I'm not doing that, then I'm wasting money here as well. So what I've been learning over the last, year, few months, whatever it is that you need to balance all the different kinds of marketing. And social media is changing every single day. I would say, at least for me, and I think for a lot of fellow founders, that is a really difficult portion of it. I'm an intensely private person. But what I've learned is now, as a founder of a brand, you kind of have to put yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to open it up. People don't want to buy from a brand. They want to buy the story. They want to know who's behind the brand. And so I'm kind of working on putting myself out there a little bit. But I mean, anything that has me in it performs better. Like the metrics are actually there. The reels that have me in it, they perform better. So I'm just like, okay, I got to do this.
So is 30 to 40% the norm that you've noticed in activewear or apparel on marketing spends?
I think it's probably higher than the norm. But see, the more you establish yourself, the kind of less you're almost spending on your marketing, because you're looking at your acquisition cost of your customer and your ROAS and all of these things. Those are kind of the metrics that people are mostly watching out for. And you're looking at your return on ad spend. And if it isn't at a certain place, then you're like, I got to go back and look at what's not working. And now, we're at a point where you're expected to test 25, 30, 35 creatives a month on your performance marketing ads. And just generating that content is becoming more and more of a time and money spent.
Okay, that makes sense actually.
That's the tough one. I feel like we are good in the COGS. My cost of goods is at a very good place because we do the marketing, but also different segments and different categories for us have different profitability.
Okay.
Like, actually, it may surprise you, but from all of the categories that we're in, which to date is obviously activewear.
Okay.
We also do innerwear, which is basically panties and bralettes. And we also do bodysuits. And we also do shapewear. Okay. And we have very, very few accessories, like water bottle, tote, cap, whatever it is. Our top 5 styles of net number of items sold, 2 of those 5 is actually underwear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So in terms of the actual quantity sold, my underwears are the best. The best.
And considering that that's not what the proposition is for the brand.
Yeah.
But
well, I'll come back to that after. It's not that it's not part of the proposition.
Okay.
But it's an activewear first brand. But yeah, considering that's the case, it's very surprising to most people. But I think it's because of the repeatability of the purchase.
Right. Like more frequently than at least I would say.
The leggings, yeah. How many leggings is somebody really gonna own?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you can have a lot of underwear. It's fun. Different uses, different moods, different days, like depending on what you're wearing.
Yeah.
So but for example, sorry, going back to your question, my underwear is a lot less profitable for me than my leggings are. Okay. So in terms of net revenue, my leggings way outperform the undies, but the undies are a much bigger number driver.
Okay.
And actually, a breakout category for us has also been bodysuits. So people are loving our bodysuits. And honestly, I think they might be my favorite too.
No, absolutely. I think that's a new market that's coming up, shapewear in India.
Yeah.
We have, of course, a lot of new brands popping up, and there's, of course, underneath, etc. That's gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Shapewear in India earlier, given that, I think shapewear in India, my hypothesis is could be an overconsumption, overcompensation sort of a demand, because for years shapewear in India was restricted to, let's say, the likes of Jockey and the likes of
if you had the cash, M&S.
Yeah, M&S, and maybe if you had the cash, and that tattoo was priced very, sort of priced quite high.
Yeah,
M&S,
prohibitive almost.
And maybe Victoria's Secret, that was the prohibitive pricing essentially, but like very highly priced essentially items. As I would say, this overcompensatory demand that sort of pops up when people suddenly get access to high quality product that they were sort of deprived of.
Yeah.
So that could just be one of the reasons.
It could be one of the reasons. I mostly agree with you.
Yeah.
And so two things. One, our bodysuits are not just shapewear ones. It's also just like kind of layering pieces.
Okay.
Those are doing better than the shapewear ones actually, because I think there are so many like shapewear brands out there now. But it's not insignificant for us. We have kind of more some of the like layering everyday pieces. You know, you wear them to work, you wear them out to dinner, all of those kinds of things. But two, going back to your shapewear comment, I am so interested to see how shapewear pans out with Gen Z, because we both know they're not wearing clothes that are tight.
Yeah.
It's all the oversized things. Fashion is cyclical, eventually will come around, but like India is a young population.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
No, absolutely. There's a lot of, I would say, I don't know what else to call it, there's no term for it, but I would say hybrid dressing.
Yes.
That's happening. I don't know if that's a term. But people are deciding to switch up what they wear to which places, and they're sort of rewiring their brains to not fit into the norms of what is meant for wear. Given that now workplaces are also becoming slightly lenient with what you can and can't wear.
So, I mean, that actually is one of the reasons that Feier exists, because I wasn't gonna make a brand if the use case was to only wear it to the gym.
Yeah.
Right? Because of COVID, everyone is in activewear or athleisure all the time. More so in the West than here. Now you walk down a street in London, everyone is just in workout clothes.
Back to, also wanted to get into the details about your operations, right? Especially, let's talk about sales channels, right?
Yeah.
What percentage comes from where? If you can give us the split of, you have your website, so you sell through your website. And I mean, is that your primary source, or have you also tied up with physical retail outlets?
So actually, it's a really interesting time for us right now.
Okay.
So up until about a month ago, we were only on our website or marketplaces. We started marketplaces earlier this year. So we're on the Nykaa, the Myntra, the Ajio, the Tata Click.
Okay.
So those are there. Those sales channels are there. And we have our own website. But very, very soon, we're coming to quick commerce.
Okay.
Like our onboarding, all of those things. That's
which quick commerce platform again is, because I know there are a couple of them who are doing 16 minutes for, or even lower for clothes.
So we're keen to get on some of those in certain cities, but we're basically coming on Blinkit.
Okay.
So obviously, because of just kind of how it works out, it's very limited SKUs. So we've kind of picked our best sellers and things that we think are going to work. So it should be in the next couple of weeks, actually.
Oh, wow.
We should be in Blinkit in Bombay and Navi Mumbai and Thane and stuff, like basically around here. And I think we have a few stores in Pune as well. So that quick commerce is coming. And then once that starts, you know, we're looking at the other kind of fashion quick commerce also. As you said, there's Nykaa, there's Myntra, they're all doing their quick commerce. Then there's a few other specific fashion ones coming up. So I'm not saying we're going to go on every one, because it takes up your inventory.
Sure.
So that's a lot of kind of money that you're just kind of freezing. So we kind of want to see how it plays out. And then I'm very excited about that, because Indian customers want things now.
Yeah, it's a new trend altogether, and I mean, every brand owner, especially in consumer, is trying to cope with it. Food, beverage, you look at makeup as a segment, you look at beauty, personal care, and of course now clothing as well. So
it's a lot of pressure. But it's interesting now. I find myself in the same way, right? And I'm sure you're the same, where you will check one of the quick com platforms before you check Amazon now. Probably. For a lot of things.
Because if I can get it, I mean,
if you can, why not?
The mindset is, if you can get it in 15 minutes, why not? Going back to the channel split.
Yes.
So currently you said there's website, and there's marketplace. Are
Yes.
you on retail, multi-channel, other outlets essentially?
So as I said, we have quick commerce coming up, and then we are very, very, very soon, within this month, launching in offline presence as well.
Okay.
Store-in-store concept.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say the name? I'm not really sure.
Okay, you can just give so again, got it.
But basically,
the
it's
multi-brand outlet.
Yeah,
store.
it's in Broadway stores. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll check whatever. But basically, yeah, store-in-store concept. Broadway stores. They're new, upcoming. They have a store currently in Delhi, and then they're coming up in Hyderabad and Bombay as well. And it's all, I love the idea. The idea is that basically they're taking homegrown brands.
Okay. Oh wow.
Which is really nice, and
Yeah.
D2C brands. So, you know, it's all kind of the same, or it's like a nice group of brands coming
So
together.
it's sort of, think of it.
It already exists, by the way.
It's sort of like a multi-store brand, but for homegrown brands especially.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's-
which is
it
so
would be
nice.
Quite cool.
It's really exciting. I'm so excited to be part
So
of that.
let's just call it retail presence in terms of
Yes.
multi-brand store.
Yeah.
So if you had to give us the split, at least right now in the past,
Yeah.
what has been your? You were only doing website before this, right?
Website and marketplace.
Okay. So could you tell us the split between website and marketplace?
I would say that in terms of revenue, definitely our own website is giving us more.
Okay.
Because again, marketplace is something that we are just on. I haven't done any marketing spends on them yet.
Okay.
Which, to succeed on a marketplace, you do need to spend money on their marketing there.
Okay.
So we just kind of wanted to see organically what would happen. Also, we're doing so many things at the same time, and we're a small, tight team.
Of course.
That like, you know, you take things in a certain priorities. So we will be starting marketplace ads soon as well. But yes, so in terms of numbers, they're a little bit closer than you would think,
Okay.
the number of orders. But the marketplace shopper is one who loves to return things.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's quite a new insight. So, firstly, could you tell us the percentage split, revenue split between marketplace and website?
Revenue split, I would say it's about 75-25.
Okay.
Obviously, our own web store
75.
is 75. Our website return rate is like 8%, maybe less, okay? And that is of an industry standard of 20%.
Okay.
We have a really fantastic return rate. I'm so, like, I can't tell you how happy I am about that. Like, that's something that's also showing me our product works and is good.
And can you tell us about marketplace? What is the return percentage?
Oh my
of
God, marketplace, like 20-25% one, and certain platforms give you a way higher one. So in the end, the average is about 20-25, could be 30 some months, but especially one specific marketplace, they love to return. So if I'm getting 100 orders from them in a month, I'm probably sending back or getting back 50. It's insane. Marketplace is very, very difficult in that way.
So I'll just move on to some of the other questions that I have. So if you were looking at activewear brands today, right? I think we touched this topic before as well. There are legacy brands like Nike,
Yes.
Puma, Adidas that are pre-existing. Then we move on to the other homegrown brands that are coming in, which are sort of very niche specific or sports specific and sub-segment targeting brands, right? With that in mind, what do you think could be, firstly, should a new budding founder enter this industry? What would be your suggestion? And second would be, if they do, what do you think is a segment or a niche that hasn't been touched or targeted yet?
So, India is a huge country, and although there are so many brands coming up, I mean, I think just this year, my algorithm is obviously showing me this, but just this year I must have seen 15 names I've never heard of before. But it is a very big market, so there's space for everyone to play. I think we are doing an amazing job at making the global brands matter less.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the more I go to the gym, the more I see things, I'm seeing more of our brands rather than the big boys, which is really exciting as a founder to see. Which also, like, you know, and as you said, everyone is doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
We all have a different flavor. We might all be doing the same thing, but it's with a different flavor. So it's nice to see that as well. And you can clearly see it in the gym or, you know, if you go to a workout class and all of these things. So it's really nice to see that.
Absolutely.
Now, so yes, there's space to play, but whether I think founders should join in this space, please come if you want to. But I would say do your homework. Try and figure out what differentiates you and really, really, really be sure if you want to get into the clothing business. It's really tough.
Okay.
It's tough because like every piece of clothing fits differently.
Yeah.
You don't know if someone's gonna keep it. It's not a consumable, right? So it's not like once they open it, once they eat it, once they apply it, it's the sale is done.
Yeah.
They will wear it, they will send it back, they will wear it, they will not, like they'll wash it also, they'll send it back. They'll say, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, you know, all of these things are happening. It's very, and just because they like one thing from you doesn't mean they're necessarily gonna like another thing from you. So it's a very complicated business to be in, especially with like returns and things like that. Keeping up with the trends. You're not just making one evergreen product or expanding your product range, right? You have to keep changing things. So it's a lot of work. It's also very capital intensive.
Right.
The stock, that is, you know, the big thing. The stock is very expensive. You're reliant on so many people in a supply chain. I'm sure it's the same with other things as well, like food, skincare, all of these things. But I feel like clothing is a behemoth to try and tackle.
Yeah.
Everyone's tastes are different.
So so would you say that it's the market is of course too competitive to enter right now? So would you say the answer is no, or?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Like I love to see it. I love to see what new things people are doing. Does it worry me at all, ever? And I'm just like a little bit, like, you know, you think that your piece of the pie is getting smaller, but it's actually not, because that pie is just getting bigger.
Yeah.
And what's been really exciting to see is that it's not just the tier 1 cities that are buying activewear, which is what I originally thought it would be, tier 1, tier 2. It's the orders come from everywhere in the country.
Okay.
Like places that you wouldn't think, and you know, and there's a lot of fake orders. That's just kind of a part of the business. But there's a lot of genuine orders that are coming from where I didn't think they'd come from.
There's another insight that I read about, which spoke about within the activewear sector, the segment. There's a gap, or not a gap essentially, but an area where someone could essentially target is non-body fitting athleisure.
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking at tier 3 cities,
Yes,
right?
yes.
They wouldn't want very body fitting athleisure. They would probably want more options in t-shirts and slightly looser leggings, and maybe, you know, different kinds of trackers and joggers.
Yeah.
I think that segment nobody has looked at.
So I would agree with you. I think you did ask that question, where do you think the niche could be? Definitely non-body hugging. And this is also kind of tying back to what I was telling you that I was seeing on Instagram. People were like, why are we wearing leggings to work out? And I feel like even now I'm seeing in the gym people wearing like slightly looser joggers and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely coming. So, but I feel like the brands are catching on, by the way, because now, you know, you're seeing the like flared legs coming in, you're seeing the looser pants coming in. People are asking us for the same. So we are actually also expanding into loungewear, which can double into the gym as well. So that's where we're kind of tackling the non-body hugging fits, because it's the need of the hour.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely a good place to be. And there's not a lot of people though who are doing performance fabrics in these fits.
Yeah, that's something that they might have joggers and they might have other joggers, but that not suitable for gym or heavy athletic activities.
Correct.
I mean, that's quite nice, Natasha. This is an aspect that I've noticed a lot, especially in your advertising and of course your Instagram. I've seen your videos with when you speak to your women workers in the factory, so that's great. So I think that's all I'll end with, but I would love to know your vision. Firstly, what does Feier mean? And I think that's what we can end with. That could be the last thing. What does Feier represent?
So basically, Feier as a word means celebration in German.
Okay.
And that is kind of one of the pillars of which the brand is founded on. I want people to regard movement as celebration. Whether that movement is you holding your friend's baby. Whether it's you're crushing some workout, whatever it is, getting a coffee, lounging at home. Like it's for all of that. It's to make you feel good about yourself. And so we are trying to make Feier a wardrobe staple for you. You're not gonna come to me for fashion. You're gonna come to me for the pieces that you reach over for again and again and again.
Okay.
So those wardrobe staples are what we want you to live your life in and feel good about. And in terms of what's next, we have our loungewear launching soon. Which is going to help all the people who like to wear oversized things. And even more excitingly, we have men's coming soon.
Oh wow, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a lot of activewear for men's, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've heard.
Too many people have been asking me for it, and my focus genuinely is always going to be women. This is a brand for women, by women, started by a woman. Like it's always there, but I also am bringing in some of the boys as well.
Oh wow, that's quite nice, Natasha. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking out your time and being with us. It was great having you.
Thanks,
and looking forward to see Feier succeed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank you.